Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another tutorial on Blender 3D character modeling. When we last left off, we had just finished, we're still working on the arm here. And what we're going to do is just continue on that, and I'm actually in the right place to start. Go ahead and making the elbow. Now for each of the joints on the body, you're going to want to make at least 3 edges, so that you can make sure that you can have the bend and flexibility in the arm that you're really looking for, and it'll model like a real person. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to work. First thing I'm going to do is go into edge mode here, rotate around to the side, and then just go ahead and choose my edges. Assuming it might help on that. There we go. Now I'm getting it. Okay. Now with all of the edges selected, again you want to extrude out. And for now I'm just going to go ahead and extrude, set, extrude, and get the 3 joints for the elbow. So I've got one, this is the second, and one more out there. So that's the end of the elbow, and then I'm going to extend one more time, just get the rest of the arm in there. And it's going to be much bigger than the ones in between the elbow. But I do want to scale it down, because as we come down the arm, it is going to be thinner. Okay. So that looks okay to begin with. Next thing we're going to do is start moving these pieces around so we can look. So it looks more like an elbow. First thing we're going to need to do on that is actually, so if this is the crease of the elbow there, let's go ahead and bring those edges back just a little bit. It's going to be the inside of the elbow. And actually modeling, looking at my own arm here, looks like the elbow actually comes down a little bit on the top. I'm going to have my arm straight out and my hand flat. Looks like the crease of my elbow is on the top. And then right before the crease, comes out just a little bit. I'm going to go into vertex mode. And again, remember that these are not permanent. Go to the opposite side here. And pull that point out for the back of my elbow. As we're going around, remember, use yourself as a model. What looks good to you, and what works well. It's all going to be really up to you. This is a work of art, and no 2 of them are going to be really the same. So don't worry about being perfect. You can always come back and adjust things later. And I think for now I'm okay with that. Actually, I might go back into edge mode and shrink this down a little more around the end here. So remember, as you go down your arm, you get a little smaller, a little smaller, a little smaller until you get to your wrist. While I'm here, extrude that out again. Scale it down one more time. and extrude out. Actually bring all that back in here. And I might even start scaling this out just a little bit. Start working on the wrist. Yeah, for now I think that looks good for me. So remember, as you're going, it's going to be little adjustments all over, and the more you do, the more human it'll look. Alright. Now, from here, let's go ahead and we'll work on bringing down the rest of the torso here into the hips and get the legs started. So in order to do the hips, we're going to do 3 joints, just like we did up on the elbow. So one before the hips, one in the middle, and then one after. And then we'll extend it out to another edge so that we can go down for the legs. Let's do that. Gonna zoom in here on the bottom, the torso. And then get all of the edges. For the bottom. That looks good. And like I said, first thing we're going to do, extrude out. And bring that down and out just a little bit, starting in the hips. That's going to be the first break. Extrude out. Click to set. That's going to be the third, or the second. And extrude one more time. Just around the groin region. Set it there. That's going to be the bottom of the hips. And now one more time. Bring it out, and this is what we're going to use to do the legs. Go ahead and click and set it there. Alright. Now, to do the legs, what we're going to do is we've got this big gap at the bottom of our person. We can look right up the middle of our person here. And we don't want to do that. We need to connect some of these edges around. So, what I'm going to do is just select the back 2 and the front 2 edges here, and then do a fill by hitting F in between them. What that is, put in a space in between them. Now I've kind of got 2 spots for the legs, but they don't look like really legs. I've got too much space in between here. So going in just to the edges, drag that in. Just enough. You don't want them to merge. And I think that'll do. Now, from this point, you can go ahead, select the edges for one of the legs. Just that one there. And then we can extrude out for both legs. One to the middle, so I can add some dimension later. And then right above the knee, at the knee, and then extrude one more time below the knee. And then we start on his legs. At this point, you might try scaling down as you come down the leg, but those are small adjustments that you can work on as you get through the rest of his body. Okay. And there you have it. What I'm going to do now is work on trying to fill in the fitting the shape in the side view. Again, paying attention to just remember that you can move points, you can move edges, you can move the entire face. Don't get too caught up in one little thing. use both views. Remember to change stuff around as you come in. There you go. I'm gonna work on his butt a little more. It's yeah, it's just not quite what I'm looking for there. I think I've done a nicer butt before. But you've got this. Remember, it's your art. What looks good for you? When we come back, we'll work on the hands. After the hands, we start putting this person together. Thank you. Call me over if you have any questions.